I think self-care can be defined in many different ways, and it doesn't always mean having a bunch of alone time or being pampered. In fact, as a mom, especially of littles, being alone is actually pretty rare. But I do want to share even how as a mom of 2 that I can still fit in some self-care that you can actually start implementing now, no matter how tired or busy you might be. And if you want to know 5 more things that I want to start implementing into my life, but I haven't started yet, then make sure you watch till the end. Self-care is super important so you can continue to invest and pour into others. So I have some realistic, not too expensive, and practical ways that you can implement self-care today. When you go too long just caring for other people and pouring into them, you start to lose a sense of yourself, and you start to lose a sense of the things that give you joy, that make you happy. Hey, I'm Julie, aka Chef Julieune. I'm a work from home mom of 2, and I was suffering with some chronic illness for quite some time. Make sure that you go back and watch this video. I've been dealing with chronic illness for about 2 years, and I think that was the wake-up call to make me realize that I had to do something about it, and I have to start really taking self-care seriously. Even though it seems a little kumbaya, it seems a little unrealistic, I get it, and sometimes there's a season in your life where you really cannot practice that much self-care, so give yourself grace if you're in that season. Like when I was in the newborn stage, there was basically no self-care. But at one point, I decided enough was enough, especially as I was suffering with a lot of symptoms due to, I would say, stemming from stress, lack of sleep, and probably not eating the best. I feel like all of that kind of attributed to what I was going through. And since I just made 3 videos talking about 3 different types of illnesses that I had, I was like, okay, I need to end this on a high note, and let's talk about the way we're creeping out of that. And thanks to Madame Glam, a New York company, this is not sponsored, but they were so nice to send this to me. So I'm cracking it open. I'm finally doing my nails. They're vegan and cruelty free, so you can check it out. I'll leave their website down below. I think that you can take what I'm sharing and then just kind of tweak it, make it adjustable to your lifestyle and your preferences. Practice mindfulness. It's the practice of being present and in the moment. And when you're in the moment, it can actually help to reduce stress and anxiety. I know that our minds are always racing with a million things, to-do lists, things that are gonna come that you have anxiety over. Like I have a big problem about that. Like if I'm nervous about something upcoming, sometimes I think about that as opposed to like what's actually happening in the moment. It's hard for me to just be present, but that's something now that I am actively trying to channel my mind to do. Think about what is in front of me, the task at hand, or the people that are with me. Or if I'm watching my kids, like instead of thinking of all the things I have to get done when they're down for the night or for the nap, like I just try to focus on what we're actually playing with. So how do you do that practically? For me, a huge part of it is deep breathing. It's kind of like yoga breathing that I adapted when I was struggling with chronic dizziness and acid reflux. You basically breathe belly breaths and your stomach puffs out while you're breathing in, and then you slowly release it and your stomach comes back in. So it's like, and you do that for multiple repetitions. You do it throughout the day, and it helps you to kind of slow everything down. Maybe your heart rate, your breath, and then it helps you to kind of just snap out of whatever was giving you a panic or anxiety or stress in the moment. Another way to practice in the moment thinking is journaling or meditation/prayer. So I do all of those things. I actually pray a lot. I pray throughout the day. And sometimes those are even like prayers of thankfulness, not necessarily like just things that I want help on. Meditating is just like even thinking about the words of a song. Journaling really helps me too. I actually wake up early to do this because I don't really have that much time. And if I don't have time in the morning, then I will journal at night, like late at night, even if I'm tired. And I feel like when your headspace is in a good place, then that already is a huge point towards self-care. Something a little less serious, prep your outfit for tomorrow. I think this is a huge one for me. Maybe it's not for everyone, but whenever I have to stress about what I'm gonna wear the next day, especially for an event, it helps that I think about it beforehand and not have to wake up and make that decision first thing in the morning. Sometimes I have to try on the outfit at night and try it even on with like the different accessories. And it definitely helps me because You feel set for the next day. And then when you wake up in the morning, you don't have to worry about that. You put it on, you already feel good about yourself because you know that it already looks good because you tried it on the night before. I think that it's just like another nice thing you can do for yourself. And a practical way to do that is to make sure that your closets and your drawers are all free of clutter and things that you don't like. And I know that's hard because all my clothes give me joy, but what I like to do is do a closet rotation. So I do it by season. So whatever's gonna be in that closet is all stuff that I can wear in the moment in that season. I find that this is super helpful because I don't have that many choices to go through. If you're going through your stuff and you haven't worn something in like 2 seasons, like 3 winters went by, you never wore this sweater, it's time to donate it or let it go. And then it also makes me excited to go shopping. Like, oh, now I feel like I have some room where I can go thrifting, which I love, or go shopping and then get something new too. Light a candle. This is like such a simple thing that you can do at any moment, but I started doing it more. Like I usually light a candle when I'm journaling, sometimes when I'm doing work. I like doing it at night. I usually light it on my kitchen table and just sit there. Sometimes I light a candle at dinner time and it calms everyone down. I heard there's some statistic that kids become more calm and more engaged when you light a candle at dinner. I want to do a shout out to Ashley at Sincerely Candle Co. I've just recently become friends with her and she started her candle company not too long ago. I'll leave her information down below and she has gifted me some candles too and they are wonderful. She makes them herself. They have a wooden wick so they actually have that like crackling, flickering sound to them and they last so long. I actually wrote the script for this video with a candle lit. It's like a mood booster. It calms you down and it makes you feel like you're doing something special even if it's an everyday task. Listen to good music. Music is an instant mood booster. I like listening to music when I'm like cooking, organizing, and I also like listening to when my kids are going a little cuckoo. I just turn on some music, makes you even dance around, which also only is a mood booster because it kind of makes you shake your body. But sometimes just singing along to music and focusing, it goes back to being in the moment and pulls you into that space. You're just like thinking about the words of the song. You're just tunnel vision, working on the things that you're doing right now in the moment. I did not plan this at all. I literally grabbed this at the same time and I was looking down. I'm like, what's my next point? And it was drink more water. I recently just got this little topper from Target. Isn't it so cute? That makes me happy too. You just gotta sometimes treat yourself to these little tiny things. This was from like the dollar Target spot. So I'm using my Stanley. I got this from my sister-in-law as a gift and I feel like that has actually helped me to drink more. I know it's not like sponsored or anything, but you gotta find what makes you drink more water, whether it's like adding Crystal Light packages to something, using liquid IV, or just setting a timer to remind yourself. But I feel like drinking more water instantly helps you to not feel so tired, not so dehydrated, because if you're yawning a lot during the day, most likely you're dehydrated and don't even know it. And drinking water helps with everything, your digestive system, it helps your skin, your hair. So Liquid IV, again, not sponsored, but it's something that Joe and I always buy now because that really helped me a lot when I was going through my chronic illness because it's giving you electrolytes and things that you need, but it tastes good, so it makes you drink more water. And that was a tip that I got from my friend Ellen because she herself went through the same thing when she suffered some sort of dizziness too. So I think that often we just don't drink enough water, we don't have enough electrolytes, we're just not keeping ourselves hydrated. And that's like a really bad sign of like not taking care of yourself. Take breaks and rest. I know this is sometimes the one that's kind of like impossible when you have little kids, especially it's summertime for me and my kids are like constantly physically on me or asking me for a snack or telling me they're bored. So how do you find that time? Well, you just have to kind of either ask for it from your partner or hire a babysitter or just gain it for yourself if it means having them watch iPad or something. But I would say even if it's just a couple minutes throughout the day, just don't do what you're doing. Like don't take the break to then go wash the dishes or clean something on your counter. Take that break to just be away from whatever you were doing. It helps you to recharge and refocus. For me, it's as simple as making matcha. I've been like really on a matcha craze and I've been just buying the little matcha packs that you can make at home. And I've been doing that in my nice cute little glass cup with glass straw and bamboo lid. And I just like sit for a little bit and I either watch TikTok or I stand and I do something, but it's not work. Even if it's just sitting in silence, that helps. Taking these few moments can ultimately help you reduce stress and increase productivity. Also, when you're tired, just go to sleep. yesterday, Taylor was not sleeping. She's going through a sleep regression and she's just not sleeping even like way into the late at night, which gives me no alone time at night. And I was just feeling so tired. So as soon as I put her down, I just went to sleep. And it felt wasteful because there were so many things I had on my to-do list, but I was like, I'm just tired and I'm going to go to sleep. And I listened to my body and I did. So when I woke up this morning, I woke up a little earlier and then I was able to do dishes or like whatever else I need to do before the kids woke up. I felt actually more rested because I listened to my body. So just rest when you need to. Do something nice for yourself. And this is not necessarily go out and buy yourself a treat or buy yourself this or whatever. It could just be doing something nice for yourself, your being. And for me, that's just making sure that I dye my roots. I do it at home because I get grays really easily. So I just make sure that I have my dye and I like carve out time at night, or I take time to deep condition my hair. Something that you don't normally always do, but then you take that extra moment to do something nice for yourself. Go out in nature. Honestly, I am not a nature person, but you'll find when you do go out in nature, there's something pleasant about the fresh wind or the sun. And it's like you can hear the wind and the leaves rustling. And my grandma used to always tell me, seeing green with your eyes is healthy for you. And that always stuck with me. That's something that I've been doing, which is going out to the botanic gardens with my friends and my kids. I'm not necessarily alone, or walk on a trail or go to the beach. That's not with just friends or anything. That's with my kids. So it's like a lot of work and stuff. But once you're there and you dip your feet and bury them in the sand, you feel the breeze and everything. There's something about it. But even when you're not feeling it, it's hot. Like this week is like 90 to 100 every day. Just figure out a way to do it. Like I just put out a sprinkler pad and I have the kids just run around, on bad weather days or anything. Sometimes I just stand in my garage and watch the rain, but just go outside. Cook a healthy meal. Maybe I'm saying this as a chef, that when you are focused on chopping vegetables or doing a repetitive motion, there's something therapeutic about that. And it's been proven. So I think that's why I actually enjoy cooking. There's something about just pulling these ingredients together and then coming up with something that everyone can enjoy, especially yourself, and especially if it's healthy and you can control the ingredients and the amounts of ingredients and everything. Joe and I are trying to do a little bit of more low carb. It doesn't always happen. Honestly, even today we had ramen. I feel like every time I share that, I say that we ate ramen, but we do. And I do eat ramen. We're just trying to eat a little bit better after I had gestational diabetes because there's a chance of developing diabetes even afterwards. But it's just more recently because we were just too tired with the newborn stage in the beginning. But now I'm trying to be a little bit more mindful. It does require grocery shopping more often, but in the end, I always feel better when I eat a little bit healthier. Take photos of your world. Be more mindful about taking actual photos of things that you're experiencing or seeing. If you're feeling like your day's a little bit mundane, especially watching little kids, it helps you to make memories. You'll never regret taking pictures in the future, and helps you to be in the moment, and also helps you to stretch your artistic and creative side and tell a story. I find that I actually start taking more artistic photos of the kids, or I try. Sometimes they get really into it and they're into character. Taylor always squats down every time she sees, she thinks that's the pose you're supposed to do. Doesn't have the handle on the smiling yet, and Lincoln sometimes does an artistic pose for me too. I wanted neutral colors that I could wear at any time, and honestly they sent this to me such a long time ago, but I didn't practice self-care. It's so cute. This comes with a little portable UV light thing, so I can take it with me even when I go to the East Coast. It'd be great. I can do this for my mom. Read a book. So I actually joined a book club. It's just a book club with my friends, and I decided to join because I don't like reading books. But reading the books at this book club, it's intentional. They're all kind of more helpful, encouraging books. And I think that is something that I need right now. I sometimes like to listen to business books too. I would listen to audio books when I'm taking a walk with Taylor. So I actually listened recently to Pat Flynn's book, Superfans, talking about how to develop your true fan base who will follow you no matter what you post, even if it's about self-care and you're doing your nails. So that was something that I was doing. I was working on my mind as I was strolling around outside with my baby. But with the book club, I get to take 2 days out of the month, and it's nice. It's always nice to hear different perspectives, to rehash what you learned. It's just a good way to keep accountable, to learn new things, to be present. Set boundaries. Learn to say no. You don't have to do every last thing. Because for instance, I even said no today. I was supposed to go on a play date with my friends, but I felt like the play date would be too daunting for me, having to rework Taylor's nap schedule. So I actually ended up saying no. I said yes at first, and then even today I actually wrote back to them and I said, you know what, no, I'm gonna sit this one out. Partly it's because for this week I have so much to do. I have a lot of videos to film and edit, and we're also gonna get ready to travel. So I just knew myself and I knew my limits. Even though it makes me a little bit sad and I want to say yes to everyone, it actually feels freeing to say no. And yeah, there's part of me that feels guilty towards my kids even, because I'm like, oh, they're not going to have that much fun. They're just going to be at home. I'm not doing much with them. But you know what? This is a moment in time of their lives. It's not like we don't do anything fun ever. And so it's okay. I know it's the summertime and there's pressure for them to do things. But summer is long, there's many days. We're actually going to be traveling too, so that's why I'm trying to prepare, and that they're going to have a ton of fun that way. So set your boundaries in whatever way that means to you. Declutter and donate. I mentioned about keeping what you really love and what you can use in your closet right now, but I'm constantly decluttering and donating, especially because I love thrifting. Like, is your house being overrun by toys or gadgets or kitchen tools? It really does make sense to declutter and to donate what you don't need, especially with kids. They're constantly outgrowing things. Clothes, toys, their interests change. And once you declutter and donate, you can be happy about bringing new things in, which also makes you kind of happy too. Every time I declutter or clean the playroom, the kids always act like it's a brand new playroom. I feel like it makes them mentally happy and more at peace too. That in itself is a way of taking care of yourself and your family. That I think is self-care. I don't have a lot of time to do all these things I'm talking about, so I do it in spurts. I'll do it intermittently throughout the day, throughout the course of many days, many weeks even if I need to. Do it late at night, do it early in the morning, whenever you have a little moment of peace. Connect with others and spend time with loved ones. I bet you feel like you're doing that all the time if you have kids, like you're always with them. But on Saturday, I always make sure that our family has family day, no matter how much we're with each other. Joe works from home too, so we are like 24/7 with each other, but not with each other. Like we do different tasks at different times and we kind of like toss the kids at each other. But on Saturdays, I make sure that we don't necessarily do work. Sometimes we have to, but we take the time to be as a family together and even just do something simple like go to the library, take a walk, go get ice cream. I also started doing this kind of like bi-weekly coffee dates with my friend Audrey. We are both creatives, so I think that really helps the way that we meet each other regularly. She lives nearby too, so that helps. Sometimes we just talk business, we talk shop with each other. But that helps us, even though we're not in the same field or the same profession or business, it helps to just have someone that's like-minded to kind of always come together and do like a fish fry with. I've been really happy to do that, and I usually end up having to bring Taylor with me. And so we spend time with her pets. She has 3 pets, and it's just a good time. We just do some coffee. We don't even eat a meal together. And sometimes I do little mini dates or fish fries with Joe. We found this little Burger King that we go to, and we take Taylor because this was during the school year when Lincoln would be at school. We haven't done it since summer started, but we had one less kid to think about. We just took Taylor, and she would come and she'd just eat her breakfast and watch her iPad or play with little like toys, and we would just talk shop. We would talk about business. We would talk about our schedules for the month. We made intentional time to do that where it wasn't necessarily a date, and we purposely would leave the house because being in the house makes you talk about house things or makes you not as serious to take that time intentionally and really focus on that time. I usually try to carve out time with my girlfriends as well. I mean, I do a couple of like mom dates or mom hangouts because we want to leave our kids behind. It doesn't happen often, honestly, maybe like even once a month or a couple times a month, but it definitely helps. We don't have to feed our kids and worry about them and our food gets cold, and then we get to have nice chats without worrying about anyone else. So that's very mentally helpful to do that. I also did a little Bible study with my friends, and we would just meet up at each other's houses on rotation, and then we would come together and talk about it without our kids. So I found that me doing that and really safeguarding those times, asking Joe for those times, and they were more regular and more intentional, that definitely helped me out of my chronic illness. Go on a solo grocery run. You guys, I can't emphasize the importance of that enough. There's so many times where I just take Taylor with me on my errands. I've done full-on grocery hauls with her. Usually we go to Costco, we take both kids. But There's something about just going alone. And I know that you would rather do other things with your time at night when the kids are down, maybe your partner can watch them. But like I ran to Target the other day at 9 p.m. just to do some groceries and pick up things that Lincoln needed for a sack lunch. There's something about that because you're alone and you're able to think clearly and peruse the aisles more freely, and you're less likely to forget things on your list. I feel like when you do that, you're setting yourself up for success because you're setting yourself up for a week of healthy meals. You're also finding some time to be alone, to be creative and think about, oh, why don't I do this or why don't I make that? And also, if you're doing something like a Target run, then it's really fun to just run through the bullseye section and find little knickknacks. Because yeah, as a mom, if you're carrying your kids around and you don't have the luxury to go alone at all ever, I understand. But if you can, and you can find someone to help watch your kids even for a moment, I think it's completely worth it. It also gives you time away from your family. So it's not all about like, oh, why don't you just do Instacart or why don't you just do some sort of delivery or pickup? It's not about that. It's more about having that leisurely time away from your family and to be intentional and to peruse and have that alone time as well. It's so cute. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, how adorable. Focus on completing an important task. We actually had to do a freelance job for our church. There were 7 videos in all, and it was a lot of work, and so it was tunnel vision for a while, but it was very important, and it was the task that we had to focus on. While we were doing it, it was really rough, and it was hard, and we just really put our nose to the grindstone, but when we completed it, we felt super accomplished and like ready and eager and itching to do our own work. It came to the point where we were editing and putting out a video every single week, and that's a lot of work. It made me realize that if we could do that and have such good quality of work that we're doing, that we could do that for our own business. And if it's not a work, then maybe it's just a task. This is back to Callie. Wow, this formula feels really, really thick, almost scarily thick. I don't know. Even doing my nails feels like I'm finishing one important task because I've been putting this off because I'm bad at my nails and I don't know what I'm doing. Once I accomplish it, I'll feel good, I think. And then what was once daunting and overwhelming no longer feels that way. This seems like a really obvious one, but take some time to do something that you love. And I know this is a little harder to say because sometimes you just don't have that time, like you don't have that luxury alone. Thrifting is my jam. Going to the Goodwill outlet, and it's no secret. I even go there for my birthday, like where you rummage through a pile of bins and trash. Like that's my jam. That's what gives me joy, makes me happy. I used to just take like time away on Mondays where it was 50% off at Savers and I would just go by myself. But nowadays I can't, it's too hard, so I have to take Taylor. Sometimes I take both. I just went to Goodwill this week with both Lincoln and Taylor and it was fine. It ended up being really relaxing and fun, and I got so many treasures, like so many things that I didn't even expect. I always request to go thrifting on my birthday. For Mother's Day, I requested that I have alone time and just go thrifting, and so I did that too. And then working makes me happy, and that's something that I love. So I started working again recently. I actually just taught 3 cooking classes in one day this past weekend. It was a lot of work. I was there from 9 to 5 and I took a 6-minute break to sit down, but it was so much fun for me and it was worth it. I had to take a little break because Taylor came in. So I had to hold her and stuff. So bye, Taylor. Thank you. She's upset. She wants to be with me. Working is not stressful because it's a job that I like. I like creating content, of sharing stories. Try to find something that you really enjoy, and once in a while, if you can, just really do it because it fills your cup. This nail polish is so creamy and thick that I think only 1 coat is needed. I have lint on my nails though because I was holding Taylor and now my nails got all fuzzy. Another thing to do, travel. And I'm saying this as someone who actually doesn't have much budget for travel. We will find ways to have little excursions and little adventures, whether it's just like mini trips to local places. So we're not too far from Milwaukee. It's a different state from us, but it's still drivable, and it's only like an hour and a half to 2 hours drive. But it feels like you're in a different land, a different place, and sometimes we'll even use points and stay like one night overnight. And we like to do that in lieu of parties. We'll use that time and that money that we could have spent for Lincoln's birthday, and we'll go to Milwaukee. It's becoming like a tradition for some reason, and we'll do like children's museums and enjoy the lake and the food. It's a cute little town. We also use the holidays as excuses to go visit family. So we'll go either to California to visit Joe's brother's family for Christmas and New Year's. And then we're going to take the summer and go see my side of the family in the East Coast. And we're going to road trip it over there. I'm getting ready and geared up for that. But even though it's a lot of planning and it's a lot of headache and nuisance to travel with young kids, I feel better going and traveling and getting out of where we normally are and doing what we normally do and having some fun and having some experiences with our kids. And so even if you can't do travel to actual places, like we even went to the Color Factory. It was over spring break. Instead of going away for spring break, we just went into the city and we didn't even do a staycation. We just did a 1-day hangout with the family and we did it with some friends. And it was so much fun. It was something that we all enjoyed, good photo ops, and it was nice memories. And it was just fun to get away and have those images and that time with the family. Anytime you can vacate from your normal routine, I think definitely helps. Okay, now here are the things that I would like to practice that I'm not putting into practice right now, but here are the 5 things that I would like to incorporate into my life to help me with more self-care. Meal prep your breakfast. You could do meal prep for anything, lunch and whatever, but meal prepping your breakfast is not something that I normally would think to do because breakfast is usually easy, but I'm always worrying about it and wondering what I should make because we're trying to do a little bit more high protein, not so carb heavy. But notoriously, both of my kids are not breakfast people. Like they don't like breakfast foods. They're very limited in what they can eat. So it's very stressful for me. So if I can figure out at least breakfast for Joe and I, even if it's like protein Kodiak cakes that I put in the freezer, make ahead smoothie packs. I did that when I had gestational diabetes and when I was pregnant. And that's something I'm thinking I'm gonna do. It's kind of like picking out your outfit the night before. I have a great overnight oats recipe. I don't even know why I don't refer to that. So I'll leave a link for that to you below if you're a busy mom too. So yeah, maybe it'll be something that I do in real time and I try to make more food videos or recipe videos based on that. I think that if I have something that's ready to enjoy in advance, it can just save me on a lot of stress and even like brain power and energy to think about it. Do a full skincare routine. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. I'm in my 40s, so you think that by now I would have done it. And being Korean, you would think especially I would do it with all these Korean skincare products. It's just not something that I do. But I just recently bought like a gua sha, little stone, and I'm gonna try using serum and doing that because I think that'll help me even with inflammation and everything else that's making me feel not that great. And I think I'm gonna also start utilizing some of the little tools, things that people gave me as gifts. I don't even use face masks that much. And so I think I have to utilize it because I think even if I don't do it every single night, even if I try to incorporate intentionally, maybe even twice a week or something where I'm really just trying to take care of my skin and have that focused time to unwind, then I think that will make me feel better and look better. It's something I definitely want to start incorporating soon. It looks like this hand did not come out great because I said Taylor kind of like ruined it in the middle. I'm gonna have to wipe it off with the gel polish remover and redo this at the end of my video. I want to go to bed early because I get tired really easily at night. Sometimes I stay up like way too late because I really want to have that me time or that alone time to unwind, and I feel like that's self-care. Like, oh, I need to still unwind, but Joe catches me so many times falling asleep with the phone on my face. When you're tired, you're tired. So just go to sleep. And so I think that's what I want to start doing is just practice going to sleep early. Doesn't matter if I didn't have time to unwind. Just know that I can wake up early because I'm naturally a morning person anyway, and that's when I'm at my best. So I definitely want to do that and practice that more. Commit to 5 minutes of daily movement. That might seem short, but I'm naturally not a person who cuts out time for exercise. I think it's because as a mom of a toddler, I'm always running around anyway. I'm lifting heavy things, lifting her who's heavy, and I just feel like I'm always on my feet, running around and doing exercise as it is. But that's not true. Like I'm not actually committing time to just focus on movement for myself. I feel like if I can just do that, those short bursts, and I add it into my daily routine, it should help. I mean, for me, because I'm not used to doing it, I can start off by just always committing to doing stretches or lunges while I brush my teeth and get ready. something very simple. Or like after I put her down, I can put on a quick like 5-minute video. And I think that I have to do something to start incorporating it into my daily routine, and it'll make me feel better about myself and give me more energy throughout the day as well. Take yourself out on a date. I know that sounds really funny, but I don't really do much alone by myself. If Joe watches the kids, usually it's because I'm on a job, I am meeting someone like girlfriend's mom's night or a book club or whatever, or I'm running errands. But it's not necessarily that I'm going on a date by myself. Like I'm not going to Barnes and Noble and just reading magazines. And I feel like I need to take time to ask for that. And I think it's important as a content creator to stay creative, to stay fresh. Just take myself out on a date, enjoy the moment, get some coffee, get some alone time. Don't even bother like trying to meet up with anyone and use that time, but just really be by myself with my thoughts, restore my energy, do something that's outside of errands, and do something for myself. I know that sometimes when we think of self-care, we think of it as being a selfish thing, but I just want to encourage you that you can always take a few of these steps or even one of these tips and make it your own, and just know that you can start today. And that's the most important thing. Any of these things, from deep breathing to lighting a candle, any of this stuff you can start today. And it really could just be using the things that you have, and it's just a mental shift of knowing that you deserve to have some time where you can devote to making yourself feel better, a little bit more connected, recharged, and energized, so that you can go do about the things that you have to do and be your best self. Leave in the comments below what you like to do for self-care that is pretty easy, that anyone can practice today. Take care of yourself. I'll see you next time. It's not the best. It's short, sweet, simple, neutral color, but that's kind of what I was going for because it's a practical mom nail for me because I always use my hands. Thanks, Madame Glam.